Hi everyone, my name is Aubrey Lum, and for my ecological interaction project, I chose mule deer. Here's some background on mule deer. They come from the genus Otocoeulus and the species Heminus. Key characteristics that distinguish the mule deer are they have large ears and pointed ends. Their ears take about 3/4 the size of their head. Males have antlers, females do not. They have a grayish-brown coat, light-colored rump, and a black or dark-tipped tail. Before I show my video footage, the video was taken April 26th of this year over the past weekend. The time was 4:30 p.m. The location was Dorabella Campgrounds at Shaver Lake, California. This past weekend, me and my boyfriend were up at Shaver Lake and went exploring. We went to the Dorabella Campgrounds and I came across these deer when I filmed the footage. In the video, you can see there is one of the mule deer that is leaving, and as she leaves, the other deer look up and follow her. Prior to filming this video, there were about 8 other deer that had just passed by over this rock, so I was not able to film them, and I got the back end of the herd. You can see in the video they are all walking pretty close to each other, pretty tightly packed. Winter habitat and interactions. During the winter season, herds of the same family will form larger groups for protection. They migrate down to lower elevation in the winter because there is less snow coverage and more accessible food sources. Mule deer are herbivores and they eat herbaceous plants, leaves, woody plants, and berries. During the winter season, most of these herbaceous plants are covered by the snow, which leaves them with the woody plants to eat. Hypothesis. Mule deer are grouped together more tightly in the open winter habitat to avoid individual predation risks to increase survival rates. Null hypothesis. Mule deer group formation size does not have an effect on predation risk. Testable hypothesis. If predation risk drives group formation, then mule deer group sizes will be larger in habitats with higher predator presence, areas of lower visibility, and open areas. Experimental design. This study is an observational study which will be conducted over a certain span of months. Objective: to test whether mule deer group sizes increase in response to predation risk during the winter season. Below, I have listed our variables. The independent variable will be predation risk, predators present, and the dependent variable will be mule deer group size. Methods. Collection of data will partake during the winter season. It can be recorded during December to February, so that gives a good 2-month window, 8-week period. Record new data weekly over the next 8 weeks. So every Sunday, the tester or observer can go out and collect all that data to input into an Excel sheet. Studied area, Shaver Lake, California. Within Shaver Lake, 5 selected areas are used, varying in wildlife activity and predation risks. So this can mean out of Shaver Lake, there will be 5 areas that will be selected for this experimental study. Out of the 5 areas, they can vary in factors which include wildlife activity and predation risk. They can be either increased in those areas or decreased in certain selected areas. Tools, camera traps, and GPS tracker. Camera traps are used to track the number of sightings and species. This can be very beneficial for the observer, so they don't have to be out there 24/7 sitting there watching. And this way, it can reduce the human activity up there. GPS trackers. GPS trackers can be used to track herds of mule deer for live feed. This can be also very beneficial, but the only limitation is that the mule deer will have to be trapped prior to experimentation, which means that they will have to be captured and released to be able to put that tracker on them. Data analysis. Linear regression. Linear regression examines the relationship between the two measured variables. This is good for looking at our population and data because it will be all continuous data that is collected weekly over the 8-week period. Test changes in the independent variable that explain the dependent variable. Another good indicator to put in would be to provide a p-value using a 95% confidence interval. This confidence interval will give the information whether the test is significant or not. Results. If the hypothesis is correct, mule deer will form larger and more tightly clustered groups in open winter habitats where cover is limited and predation risk is increased. The larger formations reduce individual predation risk and increase overall survival rates. Larger group sizes would allow individuals to share the burden of predator detection, enabling earlier responses to threats and decreasing the likelihood of any one deer being targeted. If the hypothesis is incorrect, mule deer would not show a significant increase in group size or tighter clustering in open winter habitats, despite the potential risk of predation. Group size may remain constant across habitat types, or mule deer may rely on alternative strategies such as increased use of cover, heightened attentiveness, or solitary movement to avoid predators. This outcome would suggest that factors other than predation risk, such as food availability, thermoregulation needs, or social ability, play a stronger role in mule deer grouping behavior during winter. With all of that said, I believe the hypothesis is correct because, as presented in the video, as one of the deer leaves, the other or the rest of the herd follows, showing that they are staying tightly packed and close together, which goes against the hypothesis of it being incorrect. To conclude, here are my citations that I have presented throughout my work. Thank you.